welcome back to the deep dive. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine a place where the grass isn't just green, it's aggressively green.
Right.
Like we hired a landscaping team to paint each blade individually green.
The kind of green that implies a very, very high HOA fee.
Oh, absolutely.
And a neighborhood watch that probably owns night vision goggles.
Exactly. We are looking at these sprawling estates, these long, winding driveways, and residents who look like they've been, I don't know, genetically engineered to wear tennis whites.
We are, of course, talking about Rosewood, Pennsylvania.
We're back in Rosewood.
Ah, Rosewood, a town where, the shinier the surface, the absolute rodder the core.
It's the classic American Gothic trope, isn't it?
It really is. Beauty as this kind of mask for total decay.
And today, we are peeling back that mask. We are digging into the third installment of the Pretty Little Liars saga. The book is titled Perfect by Sara Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, looking at the source material we have today, the irony of that title is doing some serious heavy lifting.
It really is. I mean, in the previous deep dives, we saw the cracks forming.
Right, just the beginnings.
But in our fic, the dam breaks. We're moving past that initial shock of Alison DiLaurentis' body being found and Toby Kavanaugh's suicide, and we're entering the psychological fallout phase.
Right, because life doesn't just stop. It doesn't stop because your friend was murdered and the town outcast killed himself.
No.
You still have to go to junior year. You still have field hockey practice. You still have to pretend you're okay.
And that is the tension we're exploring today. I mean, we have this stack of excerpts that follow our four main characters, Spencer, Aria, Hanna, and Emily, as they try to sort of glue the pieces of their perfect lives back together.
But the glue is toxic.
And the pieces are sharp.
So we're going to be looking at this through a really specific lens today. We aren't just here to recap the plot. Our mission is to understand the anatomy of the facade.
The anatomy of it, yeah.
How does a character like Spencer Hastings maintain the image of the perfect student when she's just completely crumbling inside?
Or Hanna Marin, how does she keep up that queen bee act when she's just riddled with insecurity?
We're going to look at the specific pressures, the academic, the romantic, the social, all the things that push these girls toward genuinely reckless behavior.
And we're talking serious stuff, plagiarism, vandalism, illicit affairs. It's a masterclass in spiraling.
It really is. And to understand the spiral, I think we have to understand where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, we have this incredible flashback sequence in the source material that takes us back to 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this one scene just explains everything.
It's the Rosetta Stone for the entire series. It really is. If you want to understand why these girls are the way they are at 16, you have to look at what happened to them when they were 13.
So set the scene for us. It's the end of 7th grade. You'd think it's a simpler time, right?
You would think so.
Okay.
So we're in the Hastings family room. The whole crew's there. Ali, Hanna, Spencer, Aria, and Emily. And the atmosphere is just dripping with mid-2000s nostalgia.
Oh, the details are visceral. They're eating popsicles, which, sure, that's normal kid stuff.
Right.
But they're drinking cherry vanilla diet Dr. Pepper.
A very specific and questionable flavor profile.
It's practically a chemical weapon. It just screams sugar rush and bad decisions. But the most important detail in this room isn't the snacks. It's the technology.
Oh, yeah.
The text mentions that Ollie just got a new LG flip phone. Yeah. And because Ollie got one.
Of course. They all had to get one, like that same day.
It's that immediate assimilation. The text says they all rushed out to buy the exact same model. And they didn't stop there, did they? They bought matching pink leather holsters.
This is such a perfect example of what sociologists might call enforced uniformity in a peer group.
Right.
In middle school female friendship dynamics, sameness is safety. If you look like the leader, you are protected by the leader. It's tribal. You are signaling to the rest of the school, I belong to this organism. I'm one of them.
But there is one holdout. And this tells us so much about her character right from the jump. Aria.
Classic Aria.
Aria didn't buy the pink leather holster. She knitted her own.
Out of pink mohair, no less.
Which is such a brilliant character beat. Even in 7th grade, at the absolute height of their conformity, Aria has to signal that she is other.
That she's different.
She's the artsy one. She's the bohemian. She participates in the group, sure, but she insists on putting her own texture on it.
Literally, mohair texture, which, can we just admit, is kind of scratchy and gross for a phone case.
Oh, it's a terrible material for a phone. But it's distinct. And that's what matters to Aria.
It really is.
So they're all sitting there with their matching but not matching phones, and they decide to film a talk show on a Sony Handycam.
Which, for our younger listeners, was basically a physical brick you had to hold to record video.
No iPhones here.
This is ancient history.
So Aria is behind the camera, Spencer is playing the host, and Ollie, naturally, is the star, the guest.
Of course.
But this is where the dynamic shifts. Spencer puts on a prop.
A rhinestone tiara, left over from a New Year's party.
She puts it on to be the host, to be funny, and Ollie, she shuts it down.
Yeah.
Immediately.
No hesitation.
She snaps, you can't wear that.
And when Spencer asks why, which is, kind of brave in itself, to even question Ollie.
It is.
Ollie delivers a line that I think defines the entire conflict of the books. She says, "Because, if anything, I'm the princess."
Chills. It's not a joke to her. There's no humor in her voice.
Not at all. This isn't about a plastic crown. This is about hierarchy.
Yeah.
Ollie sees herself as royalty. The others are her subjects, her court.
But Spencer's the one subject who just refuses to kneel.
Exactly.
Spencer mutters under her breath, "Why do you always get to be the princess?"
And that right there, that question, that is the seed of Spencer's entire character arc. She is the only one in that group who thinks she could be the queen.
That's a great point.
I mean, Hanna wants to be Ollie. Emily wants to be with Ollie. Aria wants to escape Ollie.
Right.
But Spencer wants to beat Ollie.
It's a power struggle. And Ollie knows it.
Yeah.
Which leads us right to the inciting incident of this whole scene, the secret text.
The weaponization of information. This is Ollie's move.
Ollie's new LG phone beeps. She checks it. She gets this cryptic little smile on her face. And she just says, "Sweet." But she won't tell them who it's from.
Now, you have to remember the context here. These girls have a pact. A blood oath, practically.
Yeah.
The text says they promise to tell one another absolutely everything until the end of time.
Total transparency, that was the rule.
Theoretically. But Ollie always exempts herself from the rules. By holding on to a secret, by knowing something the others don't, she elevates her status.
Information is currency in Rosewood.
It is, and Ollie is hoarding it.
And the girls react with just pure paranoia. The second Ollie leaves to go to the bathroom, the vibe in the room changes. It's instant.
They don't just shrug it off, they attack her phone.
It's frantic. They start guessing passwords. They try her birthday. They try Ali.
It shows a complete and total lack of trust. They know she's lying to them, or at least omitting things, and they are terrified of being left behind.
It's that fear of exclusion. If Ali has a secret life, it means they aren't part of it. And that's the worst thing imaginable. And then Spencer, again being the voice of the group's dark subconscious, asks a question that foreshadows the entire murder mystery.
Such a chilling line.
She asks, "Don't you just want to kill her sometimes?"
In a room full of 7th graders.
It's a shocking thing to say.
It is, and notice how they handle it. They immediately turn it into a joke.
Right. Aria says, "Kill her because she's so cute." And Hanna says, "Because she wears a size 0.
They're defusing the bomb that Spencer just threw into the middle of the room. They're masking their genuine aggression with compliments.
It's displacement.
Exactly. They can't admit they hate the way Ollie treats them, the power she has over them, so they say they hate her for being too perfect.
But the reader knows the truth. We see it. There is real, lethal resentment just bubbling under the surface of this friendship.
It's potent.
And just when the tension is at its absolute peak, the room changes again. A male figure enters, Ian Thomas. He walks in with Melissa, Spencer's older sister. Now, Ian is a high school senior. These girls are in 7th grade.
Yeah, the age gap is significant.
But he doesn't just wave and walk by. He sits down.
This scene is so deeply uncomfortable to analyze, especially with a modern lens. You have an 18-year-old boy inserting himself into a sleepover of 13-year-olds. He starts participating in their fake little talk show.
And the girls, they just melt.
They regress and advance at the same time. It's so strange. They get giggly and shy, but they're also posturing. They want to be seen as women in his eyes.
Ian comments on Spencer's tiara. He says it's cute. And Spencer is described as fluttering her eyelashes. The text explicitly says it was hard not to crush on Ian.
He's the golden boy with the curly blonde hair.
Of course. But then the conversation takes a turn that I found really, really disturbing.
The base jumping story.
Right. He starts telling these middle schoolers about base jumping. He describes the adrenaline, the free fall, and then he says it's better than anything, including sex.
Who says that to a 13-year-old?
I mean, really.
It's someone with absolutely zero boundaries, someone who enjoys the shock value of it all. He is introducing these adult concepts into their safe space just to see how they react.
It feels like grooming behavior.
It really does. Frankly, he's testing the waters.
And how do they react?
They eat it up. They lean in. They are desperate for a window into the adult world, and Ian is opening it for them. But look at Spencer specifically in this moment.
Spencer is loving it.
She is. But not just because she thinks Ian is cute. She loves it because Ian is ignoring Melissa.
Yes. Melissa is literally in the kitchen screaming for help with groceries. And Ian is sitting on the couch flirting with her little sister.
That is the victory for Spencer. It's not about love. It's about winning. If she can capture the attention of the golden boy, she wins a round against her perfect older sister.
And that desire to win, to be validated, to beat Melissa, is the drug Spencer is still addicted to in the present timeline. Which brings us to Spencer Hastings' junior year. Because if we thought 7th grade was messy, the Golden Orchid situation is a full-blown catastrophe.
It is a disaster entirely of her own making. We find Spencer in the present day, and she is arguably under more pressure than any other character.
She's at a therapy appointment, which we absolutely need to talk about in a minute, when her mother bursts in. Mrs. Hastings is beaming. She has good news.
Spencer has been nominated for the Golden Orchid.
Explain for the listeners who might not know. What is the Golden Orchid? This isn't just a school prize, right?
Oh, no, not at all. In the world of Rosewood, this is the Nobel Prize for high schoolers. It's a prestigious essay contest. Winners get their names in national newspapers. They get fast-tracked to Ivy League schools.
So it's a ticket.
It's a ticket to the exact future Mrs. Hastings has designed for Spencer.
So Spencer should be thrilled, but she isn't. She feels faint. She feels sick.
Because the essay isn't hers.
She stole it.
She plagiarized it. And we have to look at why. It wasn't laziness. I mean, Spencer is a workhorse. But she was being tormented by the stalker. She was running out of time. She was panicked. So she went into Melissa's old files on the computer, found an essay about, what was it, the fall of the czars?
Something like that, yeah.
And she turned it in.
Thinking, probably, I'll just get a B+ and no one will ever notice.
Exactly. She expected to survive the assignment. She didn't expect to win the lottery with it. And now, the lie has just become too big to manage.
The stakes are incredibly high. If she wins, People magazine is coming. Time magazine. If her plagiarism is discovered on a national stage.
It's social and academic suicide. She would be expelled. The Hastings name would be ruined in the town.
And her mother's just fueling the fire.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hastings is already talking about stylists. She wants Spencer to get a blowout for the photos.
That detail about the blowout, it's so suffocating.
It is.
Her mother cares more about the hair in the photo than the actual mental state of her daughter.
Mrs. Hastings sees the award as an accessory for the family brand. That's all it is. She is completely oblivious to Spencer's terror.
And looming over all of this is Melissa. Melissa is back living at home. She's renovating the barn, the townhouse, and the backyard, and she's acting nice.
Suspiciously nice.
Way too nice.
There is this moment in the waiting room at the therapist's office that I just loved. Spencer is looking at a children's book. Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes. The visual metaphor here is not subtle, but it is so effective.
He really is.
Spencer looks at the illustration of the wolf. The wolf is dressed in the grandmother's nightgown. It's pretending to be safe. It's pretending to be family.
And then she looks up and she sees Melissa.
And the connection is made. Melissa's congratulating her. Melissa is smiling. But Spencer knows, or she thinks she knows, that underneath that nightgown is a wolf waiting to eat her alive.
She is convinced Melissa knows about the plagiarism.
And that she's just waiting for the perfect moment to expose her.
It's psychological warfare.
Yeah.
But Spencer has nowhere to turn. I mean, she's in therapy with Dr. Evans. You'd think this would be a safe space to confess. Hey, Doc, I stole an essay and I'm freaking out.
But she can't. And what's worse is Dr. Evans's reaction to Spencer's other transgressions.
They start talking about boys.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Spencer hooking up with Ren, who is Melissa's other ex-boyfriend.
Right.
And Spencer expects a lecture. She expects an adult to say, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done that.
Instead, Dr. Evans says, perhaps you had your reasons.
It's validation.
It is. And then, the wink.
The wink. What is happening in this town? Why is the therapist winking at her patient?
It is so incredibly destabilizing. A therapist is supposed to be a neutral mirror, but when she winks, she's signaling conspiracy.
Yeah.
She's signaling, I'm on your side, even if you're being bad. It just blurs all the ethical lines.
It reinforces the idea that in Rosewood, you can get away with anything if you're charming enough.
Or if you're a Hastings. It tells Spencer that rules are for other people, which is a dangerous, dangerous thing to tell a girl who is currently committing academic fraud.
And just to add one more layer of chaos to Spencer's already chaotic life, Ian is back.
The golden boy returns?
He's the new field hockey coach. And he is dating Melissa again. So we have the exact same setup as 7th grade.
But the stakes are so much higher now. Spencer is at practice, she's stressed about the golden orchid, and Ian pulls her aside.
He doesn't tell her to focus or give her pep talk.
No. He leans in and whispers, "You play center better than your sister does."
He knows exactly which buttons to push. It's like a surgical strike.
It is surgical precision. He knows Spencer's deepest insecurity is her feeling of inferiority to Melissa. So he feeds her the one thing she craves more than anything: superiority.
And the text says Spencer feels a trembling thrill.
She's hooked. Instantly, it creates this triangulated dynamic where Ian is the prize and the sisters are the combatants.
But Spencer doesn't realize that by competing for Ian, she's falling right back into his trap.
Exactly. He's manipulating her need for validation to keep her close, to keep her interested.
It is messy, it is toxic, and it is only 1/4 of the drama we have to cover today.
I was going to say.
Because while Spencer is fighting this psychological war with her sister, Aria Montgomery is ready to wage a literal war on her father's mistress.
Aria's story in Perfect is a fascinating study in misplaced aggression. But first, for those who are just jumping into this world, we need to quickly contextualize why the name Meredith makes Aria's blood boil.
Right. So quick recap. Aria's family is in shambles. Her dad, Byron Montgomery, cheated on her mom, Ella, with one of his college students.
Right, Meredith.
But the kicker is that Aria knew.
She knew for a long time. She caught them in the back of a car, and Byron convinced her, he manipulated her into keeping the secret.
He made her an accomplice in the destruction of her own family.
Which is an impossible burden for a teenager. It is deeply traumatic.
Eventually, the secret came out. Ella kicked Byron out, and now Aria's living in the wreckage. She feels guilty, she feels angry, and she feels completely untethered.
And where does she go to process all of this? AP English class.
Naturally. And who is teaching AP English?
Ezra Fitz.
The dreamiest, most complicated teacher in existence.
And, we should note, the man Aria is secretly seeing. So you have layers upon layers upon layers of irony here.
The scene in the classroom is just so heavy. They're reading Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter.
Which is just chef's kiss for symbolism in this context. For those who skipped that day in high school, it's a novel about a woman named Hester Prynne who commits adultery and is forced by her Puritan community to wear a red letter A on her chest as a public punishment.
And Ezra asks the class about the themes. He asks about falling from grace and wearing a badge of shame.
Now, watch what Aria does here. This is key. She immediately connects the story to her own life. But she doesn't identify with Hester Prynne, even though she is currently in an illicit relationship with her teacher.
No. She connects it to Meredith, the mistress.
She says out loud in class, the woman was a homewrecker, she deserved it. She projects all of her internal conflict outward.
She needs a villain.
She needs someone to carry the shame so she doesn't have to.
But she's distracted, isn't she? Because while she's sitting there condemning Meredith, she's having this intense moment with Ezra.
The text describes a physical collision at the desk. He kind of stumbles, he catches her, and she notes his smell: chili powder, cigarettes, and old books.
Which is such a specific, almost aggressively hipster academic scent.
It represents the forbidden fruit. Aria is drawn to him despite all the complications. I mean, she's dating a perfectly nice guy, Sean Acard, but there's no chemistry with him.
None.
With Ezra, it's electric.
So she's judging Meredith for sleeping with a married man while she is sleeping with her teacher. The cognitive dissonance is just off the charts.
It is, and it all comes to a head when she gets a text from her dad.
Byron texts her, and Aria is disgusted because she thinks he's too old to be texting. Which, fair.
It's a funny detail.
But he asked her to meet him at Hollis College.
Aria thinks it's an olive branch. She thinks maybe he wants to apologize to finally talk about what happened.
But when she gets there, she realizes it's a trap.
He didn't want to talk. He just wanted her to sit there with him while he waited for Meredith to finish teaching her art class.
It is an act of supreme selfishness. He is using Aria as a buffer, as a shield.
He thinks if Aria is there, it legitimizes his relationship with Meredith. It makes it look like a family outing.
He's trying to normalize the abnormality. He's forcing it.
Exactly. And Aria sees right through it. She wanders into the art studio, and she sees Meredith.
And this is what breaks her. Meredith doesn't look sorry. She doesn't look ashamed. She looks great.
The text mentions a healthy pink flush. She's confident. She has a spiderweb tattoo on her arm. She is vibrant and alive.
And Aria, Aria is miserable. Her family is miserable. And seeing the source of that misery looking so happy, something just snaps.
She sees a paintbrush, and it's dipped in red paint.
And she doesn't even think. The book says it's pure instinct. She just moves.
She marches right up to Meredith, and she paints a giant, messy red A on the back of Meredith's dress.
It is such a cinematic moment. She literally brands her.
She gives her the scarlet letter, A for adultery, but also, and I love this, A for Aria.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. She's signing her work.
In a way, yes. It marks this huge transition for Aria. Up until now, she has been a passive victim of her father's secrets. But in this moment, she becomes an aggressor.
She takes action.
She takes physical action to punish the person she deems responsible.
It's vengeance.
She'll have to look at the A she might deserve for her own secrets.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to be the punisher than the sinner.
And of course, the letter A has that third meaning, the stalker.
Right.
It's like the entire universe of Rosewood is conspiring to make that one letter the most terrifying symbol imaginable.
It's the brand of the town. Everyone carries an A of some kind. Some wear it on their dress, some wear it in their hearts.
That is deep and very depressing.
It is.
But let's move from the artsy angst of the Montgomerys to the high-gloss nightmare that is Hanna Marin's life. Because if Aria is fighting for her family's soul, Hanna is fighting for her social life. And for her, it's the same thing.
Hanna's section in Perfect is so tragic because it's so shiny. It's all glitz and glamour and designer names, but underneath all of it, it's just raw, exposed nerve endings.
We catch up with Hanna on a very special day, her friendiversary.
3 years of best friendship with Mona Vanderwall.
They are celebrating at a coffee shop called Steam, and they are doing what they do best, judging people.
It is a blood sport for them. They are sitting there, sipping their lattes and just absolutely dismantling the other girls in the shop.
There's a girl from the diving team. Hanna looks at her legs and calls them logs.
Logs. And then she critiques her ankles. She says, that's what girls with fat ankles get when they try to wear Louboutin.
It is so viscerally mean. Why are they like this? What is the motivation?
You have to look at their history. 3 years ago, Hanna and Mona were not the queens of Rosewood Day.
Not even close.
They were the dorks, they were ignored, they were the before picture in a makeover montage.
So this cruelty, it's a defense mechanism.
It's affirmation. Every single time they put someone else down, they are reminding themselves that they are now up. They bond over exclusion. If they are the only perfect ones in the room, then everyone else must be flawed. It's how they maintain their fragile self-esteem.
And it is so fragile. Because Hanna is obsessing over one thing and one thing only. Shauna Card.
Her ex-boyfriend.
Who is now dating her former best friend, Aria.
It's the ultimate betrayal in her eyes.
Hanna keeps saying she is over him. She insists she's upgraded, but her internal monologue is just screaming the opposite. She is so jealous.
She is devastated. Sean was her validation. He was the good guy who approved of her. He made her feel normal and loved.
And losing him to Aria, her former friend, makes her feel rejected and replaced.
So she tries to fill that void with, well, everything else. Mona is planning a Sweet 17 party, and she pitches this idea to Hanna, a court.
Like a royal court, but with a very specific twist.
Hanna will be the only girl.
Surrounded by boys.
Surrounded by admiring men. Hanna loves the idea. She imagines being carried around like Cleopatra on a chaise lounge.
She explicitly says she wants a whole load of guys to carry her.
This is the absolute key to Hanna's psychology in this book. She doesn't just want a boyfriend. She wants worship. She needs to be desired by the masses to feel okay with herself.
If she isn't the center of male attention, she feels like the fat girl she used to be.
It's a bottomless pit. No amount of attention is ever going to be enough. And this insecurity just bleeds into her interactions with Aria.
There's that scene in English class, this is before the whole painting incident,
Correct.
where Hanna and Aria are forced to interact.
And it is just icy. Hanna makes these snide, loud comments about best friends stealing boyfriends.
She's performing. She's trying to humiliate Aria publicly. She wants the whole class to know that she is the victim in this story.
But Aria doesn't bite, does she? Aria just looks sad. And that's the real tragedy of their dynamic here. They are talking past each other. Hanna thinks she is the queen bee defending her territory from a usurper.
Right.
But really, she's just a hurt little girl lashing out because her friend betrayed her and she misses her.
They are both so lonely. They're sitting 10 feet apart in that classroom that they might as well be on different planets.
And that's the divide and conquer strategy of Rosewood Secrets. It isolates you.
Speaking of isolation, let's talk about Emily Fields. Because if Hanna is loud and performative about her pain, Emily is just drowning in silence.
Emily's section is the quietest in the book, but I think it's the most heartbreaking. She is caught between two worlds, the world her parents want for her and the world she actually lives in.
Let's talk about the pressure first. Emily is a swimmer, a star swimmer, and the expectation from her family is nothing short of excellence.
She comes home from school, and what does she find on the kitchen counter? Sammy swim towels. Her mom has laid them out for the big meet against jury.
It's a nice gesture on the surface, but it feels heavy. It feels like, here are your tools, go win for us, don't disappoint us.
Exactly. But next to the towels is something much, much worse. A book.
Oh God, the book.
Her mother has bought her a self-help book. The title is, It's Not Fair, What to Do When You Lose Your Boyfriend.
I physically cringed when I read that title. It's so tone deaf.
It represents a fundamental, willful misunderstanding of Emily's entire life. Her mother assumes Emily is grieving Toby Kavanaugh because he was her boyfriend.
But he wasn't. They were friends. Complicated, deep friends. And Emily isn't straight.
But her mother refuses to see that. She is handing Emily a script. She's saying, here is how a normal heterosexual teenage girl grieves. Follow these instructions and get over it.
It erases Emily's identity completely. She can't mourn Toby for who he really was to her, and she can't explain why she's so sad because that would mean coming out to parents she knows won't accept it.
So she retreats. She goes to the one place where she doesn't have to perform. The creek.
This is such a great setting. We talked about the manicured, perfect lawns of rosewood. The creek is the opposite. It's wild, it's messy, it's overgrown.
It represents nature, truth. And that is where she meets Maya St. Germain.
Maya is everything Emily isn't allowed to be. She's free.
She smokes pot out her bedroom window. She wears weird clothes and doesn't care about the Rosewood social hierarchy. And in the creek, they have this beautiful, intimate moment together.
They time themselves running there, the 6-minute dash. It feels like their own secret game. And then they just sit together by the water.
But the conflict arises almost immediately because Maya doesn't want to keep it a secret.
Maya proposes they be open.
Yeah.
She wants to hang out at school. She wants to come over to Emily's house and watch a movie.
And Emily panics. She just shuts it down immediately.
She says she's not ready.
And you have to think about the trade-off Emily is making here. She's replacing the secret of her feelings for Ollie with the secret of her relationship with Maya. She just keeps trading one closet for another.
She feels safe in the aquarium. That's her metaphor for the water or the woods.
But the idea of bringing Maya into the air, into the school, into her living room is terrifying.
Because she knows her mother won't accept it. She risks losing her status as the perfect daughter.
She explicitly compares Maya to Ollie. She says Maya is brave, just like Ollie was. But Emily views herself as cowardly. She chooses safety over authenticity every time.
It is a devastating choice to hide the person you love because you're afraid of losing the approval of people who don't even know the real you.
And that fear of being seen, that brings us to the final element of our deep dive today, the threats. Because the girls aren't just hiding from their parents or their peers, they're hiding from something much more dangerous.
The stalker. Now, in these excerpts, A is quiet. We don't see a lot of direct texts from A, but the presence is there.
It's ambient paranoia. It's in the air. The text mentions reports of a Rosewood stalker, a peeping Tom.
Right. Maya mentions seeing someone outside her window. Spencer's field hockey teammates are gossiping about it during drills.
And look at the psychological toll this takes. Spencer is sleeping with her lights off to avoid being seen through her window, but she's terrified of the dark. Aria is jumping at shadows. They have internalized the surveillance.
That is such a good point. Even when A isn't actively texting them, they act like they are being watched at all times.
It's the panopticon effect. If you think you might be watched at any moment, you police your own behavior. You live in a state of constant, low-grade anxiety.
And then the bubble bursts. The section ends with this huge cliffhanger at Hanna's house.
Hanna drives home. She's just, planning to change clothes and go to dinner with Mona. A normal Friday night.
But when she pulls into her driveway, she sees the cars.
Spencer's silver Mercedes, Emily's white Volvo, Aria's Subaru.
And a police cruiser.
It is the physical convergence of all the separate plot lines. The four girls are brought back together, not by choice, but by force.
And Officer Wilden is there.
And that means one thing and one thing only. The Alison DiLaurentis investigation is not cold. It's very, very active.
They thought they were safe. They thought if they just kept their heads down, kept their secrets buried, they could move on.
But the past is not done with them. The police presence traps them in the same room, just like in the flashback to 7th grade. They are bound together by the things they know and the things they're desperately trying to hide.
It's a perfect trap. So let's pull back and look at the big picture. This book is called Perfect, but as we've seen, that word is doing a lot of work.
It's a facade. I mean, let's just look at the scorecard we've built here.
Let's do it.
Spencer is the perfect student, but she's a plagiarist.
Aria is the moral compass of her family, but she's a vandal and is secretly dating her teacher.
Hanna is the perfect queen bee, but she's fueled by self-loathing and insecurity.
And Emily is the perfect daughter, but she's living a complete double life.
They are all building their castles on quicksand.
And the tragedy is, they think the facade protects them. They think if they just look perfect enough, A can't hurt them, or the police can't touch them.
But the opposite is true. The facade is what gives A power.
Precisely. If they had no secrets, if they were just honest about their flaws or their mistakes, A would have no ammunition, nothing to threaten them with.
So here is the question we want to leave you with today. We often look at A as the monster, the singular villain who is terrorizing these girls. But does the town of Rosewood create monsters like A?
It's a chicken and egg thing, isn't it?
It's a symbiotic relationship. Rosewood demands perfection. The girls try to supply it by hiding their humanity, by burying their truths. And A thrives in that gap between the truth and the lie.
In a way, the girls create the perfect environment for A to exist.
They do.
It makes you wonder about the A in your own life, not a stalker in a black hoodie, hopefully,
Hopefully not.
but the things you hide to keep up appearances.
The secrets you keep to maintain your own perfect facade, whatever that may be.
What would happen if you just let them go?
It would be messy. It would be scary. But it would probably be the only way to be truly free.
A terrifying, but also liberating thought to end on. That is all for this deep dive into Perfect. We will see you next time as we continue to peel back the layers of Rosewood. Stay curious and watch your back.
And maybe check your text messages, just in case.
Bye, everyone.